smack the drum roll around a little bit to make it work a little easier. Hey, I don't think we're live. Hey guys, welcome back to another Plasticast. I'm obviously Rose Plasticon. I'm joined here by Megamus, Sideburn, and Headmaster Don.
Hello.
What up?
Um, so this week's been kind of crazy for some people. Me, I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning and trying to clean out the house. Sounds like Don did a little spring cleaning by unloading some of his stuff into a show. Sound like he did very well.
Enough. Well enough to feel like it was worth the effort anyway.
That's good. Don't know what Megamus and Sideburn have been up to. We'll have to fill us in here a little bit.
Been zoning out at a TV screen playing Pokemon. That's what I was doing.
Just trying to catch them all.
Nothing useful.
The only Pokemon game I ever played that I really enjoyed. I didn't play many, so there's not a lot, not a lot of competition. But the only one that I played that I wish I could still play was Pokemon Snap.
It came out with the Snap too. I didn't have an N64, so I don't have like a whole lot of nostalgia for Snap. So I didn't even give Snap 2 a try. But you know, I definitely was that generation where Game Boy Color, Pokemon Red and Blue. I was in the 4th grade when it came out. I was the target audience, and I kind of got back into it. Back in I think something like 2016. I think is when I got back into Pokemon. But when Pokemon Go came out, got me playing Pokemon again. So
yeah, I played Stadium on N64 a lot. That's the one I played a lot of. I did play Sun and Moon. I played through that entire thing. It was okay. I don't know. I've always been more of a Gen 1 type of Pokemon player, but I never really messed with the cards as much as I did an old board game called the Masters Collection. And I know that board game goes for a lot now. Unfortunately, I shouldn't have let it go many years ago like I did. I should have kept it, but this is a pretty cool board game. Like, I don't know if you've ever played that one before, but it's kind of interesting.
To be honest, I was always more of a Digimon fan.
So what's Megamus been up to?
Just work, paying bills.
Got to do what you got to do, man. That's just kind of life.
Pretty much nothing else has been going on.
Well, sometimes that's a good thing, though. You know, when life is going okay is sometimes the best time. But what is actually really crazy is there was a little convention that went on this weekend. And this little convention revealed some interesting items to us that are coming out. First one we're going to hit up here is going to be the new Onslaught. Actually was held in hand. A nice little YouTuber by the name of Toys R Us has had the best luck with Hasbro and getting hold of a lot of the pretty much just pre-release items, and also getting hold of his hands on some prototypes. And here we have the gray prototype next to Combiner Wars Onslaught. I want to hear what Megamus has to say about this, because this is his favorite combiner.
I guess it's okay. I mean, I don't know. There's things of the Combiner Wars I actually think look better. You know, the shoulder cannons I think look better. I think I kind of like the shoulders better, even though they're bigger. And now when we get the coloring, of course, it should make a big difference. I'm not sure how that waist is. If that waist is going to be like the the Superion or Silverbolt, I mean,
Hmm.
then it might be okay. I mean, overall, just by seeing this picture, there's hopes. There's hopes for it. So not horrible, but we'll see how the combined mode works.
Yeah, I mean that's I think that's ultimately everybody's question here. Sideburn, what do you think of this? Could you see this in Ruination colors?
Oh, I mean, I hope for Ruination. Um, and my opinion is that Ruination really owns these molds, and that Bruticus is just uh, a pathway to Ruination. So, I mean, like I like it. I mean, it. I don't know. I can see maybe a little bit of. Like I was over here trying to find animation images of Onslaught, and it's just I feel like there's something off. I don't know if it's the head. Um, I don't know if it's um, the small like backpack guns. And
That's
I
part of
feel
it.
yeah, I feel like I'm wondering if that's because of um, like toy safety stuff. You know, I'm not sure.
Well,
Um,
just a heads up, those guns are just backpack guns. When you have him in vehicle
yeah,
mode, he actually has large cannons. So it's actually
yeah,
part of the trailer add-on.
but yeah, but it's like, can that hook up on its back? I feel like probably not. I feel like they kind of designed the trailer part to function as his to do some of the stuff that the toy did, um, in place of the entire character being the cabinet and the trailer. But yeah, I mean it looks fine. I think there's a few proportion things that kind of throw it the look, but it's obviously going to look better in color. Color will probably do it a lot of justice. Um, it's sometimes these grayscales look better than the actual figure ends up being, and sometimes they end up looking worse. And I think when his visor is actually red, and it's a contrast to the rest of his face and everything, it'll actually make it look more appropriate. So,
Well, I'm
um,
hoping that the coloring makes the chest and arms look better because that's where it kind of
yeah,
looks drab. But then again, like you said, I mean, as I said, the color I think is really going to make the difference. But it does look like it has a lot more articulation, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, from what I've seen, when Toys R Us actually did a video of this, he did show the articulation. It's pretty well articulated. The waist joint is where the crotch and the stomach part do meet. Um, it's basically going to be kind of like your normal articulation, just a rotation there. Um, but from what I've seen, it's got all the articulation all the modern stuff does with the ankle tilts and all that, so it doesn't look too terrible. So Don, what do you guys say about this?
I'll be honest. I think it looks good right now. The way some of the early descriptions were, it's almost like it's using a part frame, part Scramble City, maybe. Uh, I don't really know. It's just all this is translated and stuff like that. I think what y'all were saying about needing to see it in color for the color layout. I think um, it's a Combaticon. I'm going to be getting it no matter what. You're paying $42 for Voyagers now, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in this, and even if it does have some issues, I'm sure I'll be picking it up because it is Bruticus. But we'll just have to wait and see how everything pans out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to grab another picture here to show you guys. But I mean, next to the Combiner Wars one, personally, I think it looks good. I'm still a fan of the Combiner Wars stuff. Um, Here's a quick look at the base mode for the trailer for you guys.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
it's a base mode. Very few Transformers, unless it's like Overlord,
Yeah.
have a base mode is always a something you get from something else to call it a third mode. Unless it's like again like Overlord, it's built into the character that you see in the anime and stuff. But yeah, it doesn't bother me if the base mode isn't anything. At least it does something.
yeah, I mean, it's just a gun emplacement, really. I mean, that's really what it is. That's
It did the frames for like Silverbolt and stuff do anything similar?
It became like a barricade, like a
Yeah,
shield.
like a battle. I called it a battle embankment.
Yeah, it was like a shield with a gun on top,
and
which is basically what this is, and that's kind of what I figured. I think it's hard to tell from here, but it looks like they're taking a lot of the cues from the aerial bots in the framework, because it looks like that is the waist and chest for Bruticus, not Onslaught. And Onslaught will fold up and become the top portion.
yeah,
And I'm assuming the arms from Onslaught will be the ones where the other two Combaticons connect on, very similar to Silverbolt.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
See what
I could. You can tell from just the way this looks. It looks like everything's kind of just folded up backward. Probably, I'm not really sure because it's just. It does look like that top turn piece basically becomes the chest piece for
well, I
Onslaught
just
just to drop
I just
into.
hope they do something, and it looks like they are, other than what they did for um, the Stunticons and the aerial bots, because that push spring loaded pop out thing is not the way to go. I don't care for that. I also believe that if you want to put them in the front or the back, you should be able to do that. I think that was limitations that they could have fixed prior to release of the other two.
Yeah, I mean, the Scramble City thing to me is what kind of gets me on these. Just the fact that it doesn't work as well as, to me, the Combiner Wars did. I know some people aren't going to like that, but it's just my take on it. But here's the vehicle mode with the trailer attached, and that is Brawl on top of it. Um, I
Yeah, the cannon
personally
look
think
long.
it looks great in vehicle mode.
I think cannon should be longer.
Honestly, I wonder if the
Well, I mean,
cannons extend or not.
They
yeah,
may. They may
yeah.
need.
It's just,
It wasn't
I
done.
mean, again, this is probably super early.
Right.
So I mean, not everything's going to be working right, or they don't want to force anything. I would have to imagine that they would have to just to get the look right. But if that's that Voyager Brawl, wow,
It
that's
is.
definitely going to be. They're definitely using the Commander price point, uh, probably to the maximum on that one with that.
Yeah, that is the Voyager Brawl. That's actually on him. I do know Toys R Us actually did a. He's done some pre-sample reviews of Brawl, Quintessa, Sure Shot. I'm trying to remember the other ones that are coming out. He's got a few of the newer ones that haven't actually hit yet. He also has Blast Off as well. But
He, he also put up a transformation video for the new Studio Series 86 Undercracker.
yes, that one as well. And I honestly think it's kind of cool how he's actually gotten the opportunity to do this. Here's a little different picture of the vehicle mode detached
Mm-hmm.
from the trailer, which I mean, honestly, I'm not mad at this. I think it looks cool that it detaches like that. I mean, it does make it so it is a trailer, not just, just a thing just sitting there. just the way it attaches to the truck. I kind of like how they've done this. But I
Yeah,
don't
I
know,
mean,
like
some of
looking at the
the
cannons, they might not extend. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's really hard to like. I was trying to flip through the pictures and get better looks at it. Like some of them make it look like there's a possibility, and then others not. Um, and like Don said, they are prototypes, so certain aspects of them might not actually be incorporated into the figure. Like when you look at some of the ones for the trailer, like the launch base, it looks like the inner, like smaller barrel is not is separate from the larger outer barrel, so that could indicate that it pulls forward, but it's just so hard to tell. Like that might also just be a design choice on how the cannon looks.
Right.
I mean, they are definitely going to make these things, blast effect compatible, because that's been everybody's thing. I still don't understand why they don't just sell blast effect packs. They might as well. People will buy them, whether they're just an online exclusive or not. Yeah, I honestly, overall, I don't think he's too terrible. Um, Here's a good photo of Brawl with Blast Off and Onslaught all together. Next to Thundercracker. These are all the
Yeah,
new
that's
ones.
They look good.
yeah, they do. That's a good. Again, I've mentioned how scale doesn't really bother me as much as it does a lot of people, because growing up with G1, scale was not something you ever really thought of, other than, like I've said, you buy a blaster, you put him next to Optimus.
He's a
The
giant.
hell, yeah. But it didn't. It didn't become a thing until the collecting community all got together and said, all this stuff needs to be in scale. That's why so many reviewers use the Sunbow chart. They're like it,
Right.
and they like, is this a good toy because of the Sunbow chart? It's like, that doesn't mean it's a bad toy if it doesn't hit the chart. It's just a guideline,
Well,
for animation, not for toys.
I think these three scale very well together.
And since everybody
Yeah,
has
yeah,
Vortex in hand, I mean, it's all going to look good, I think, personally. I'm just curious what
Yeah.
Swindle's going to look like. I'm hoping they're going to stick with that kind of.
yeah. I mean, I can see them. I can see them redoing that Swindle as a detritus. And we may get G2 from this. They've already said they don't. There's no plans on doing box sets and stuff like that, which is how we would probably get G2s of these. But they made, because right now Hasbro Plus is doing a lot of made to order stuff, especially with your Marvel Legends. Maybe they would go this route and do a made to order on a box set of G2 Scunicons, G2 Aerial Bots, G2 Combaticons, or you could do Ruination, or you could do Baldigus, or whatever the case may be. So,
Yeah, see, I'm kind of hoping that Takara, Takara comes in with at least with Baldigus, and does a box set in some way, because it would be a very Takara thing to do some sort of like Tommy Mall exclusive or something like that, right? To sell a box set, and then I would imagine that would go in Pulse and stuff like that too, right? So maybe Hasbro won't do box, or has no plans on box sets, but um, it doesn't entirely throw out my hope that Takara might do something like that, since they did it last time. That Baldigus for Combiner Wars, it never got a U.S. release, and that was in the time of Legend Selects and stuff like that. So.
yeah. Again, I think the watchword every time we have a convention and we get these early photos, wait and see. I think that's going to be what it always is. Wait and see.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I
Thundercracker
think,
looks good next to him. So, I mean, he doesn't look
yeah,
too terrible.
I'm just looking at, like, we have Vortex, Blast Off. To me, they seem slender. in design than Brawl, and that's because Brawl is supposed to be the lower portion.
Mhm.
So I think Swindle is going to be more boxy like that, which I'm okay with if they go with his original design of a Jeep. Now, of course, there's no scale. You know, we've been around this before. What's the scale of an Abrams tank, a Jeep, and a shuttle? They're
Yeah,
not.
I
They're
mean,
not scale. You can't get that.
yeah, I mean, we've all seen that one drawing of Bruticus
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah,
where everybody is to scale, and you've
right,
got a giant blast off arm and a tiny little swindle leg, and
right.
Mhm.
But I guess what I'm saying is for Swindle to be sized up with Brawl, I think as long as, and it's gonna be weird to hear it, but as long as he's boxy and looks like Swindle, I think it'll be okay.
yeah,
And I think it'll round out the group.
as long as he's a sneering box of sneering mix of boxes lifting your wallet, it'll be swindle. That'll be fine.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well, and they might end up doing a lot of like panel folding and stuff like that to bring his size down in robot mode so that he can have a big blocky vehicle mode and be a big blocky combiner limb while
Because
making
Brawl
his.
doesn't. I mean, Brawl's got a fairly big chest and upper torso and everything.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of panel forming there, and I think Swindle would be just fine. I'll be honest with you, looking at these two, I'm more disappointed in Vortex.
Yeah, Vortex
Out
is
of
a
the
little
three.
skinny compared to these guys, I think. But he's
Yeah,
always
well,
been the
As
smaller
good
one.
as these two. These two, I think they upped their game on these two.
well, also I think by the time Vortex was designed in production and was heading out to stores, you had the other ones being designed and all that. So I think whatever design changes they made to make the later stuff try to fit in with Vortex, it's not always going to mash up because things change, production requirements change, so there may be some discrepancy between putting Vortex next to them,
Mm-hmm.
but also
Style-wise, I'm just thinking
yeah,
style.
yeah. But I'm saying it's kind of hard to see that now without it would have been nice to have a Vortex in there, but I think we're going to have to wait and see wait and see to see how they all look together.
I don't know how you guys are, but I honestly would rather wait and get all of them released at once than this spread out stuff that we've been getting just because of something like this. There seems to be a
Well,
little tweak or a change, and I think if they would just brought them all out at once, they would have been more cohesive.
well, the thing is, though, remember they have to be in waves,
I know.
and the wave has to balance out budgetly to make a profit on this wave of figures. So,
I understand the marketing on it. Doesn't mean I can't complain about it.
Oh no, definitely. I am going to make one quick aside on some. I'm looking at some of these slides.
Mhm.
Fans Toys has dropped pictures of a broadside that I think looks incredible, but in typical Fans Toys, there is a third-party masterpiece broadside that has been up for pre-order at several places for these last few months, and now they just drop a CAD image, and I'm thinking, is this going to be as long as Dead End and Blitzwing to
Isn't that
actually?
as that Fan Toys drops a cat image that is like years before it comes out?
Yeah, I mean, it took 8 years for that Dead End to come out. After Bobby Skullface has a really good video because that Minosaur was one of his most. The Stunticons are his favorite group, and Dead End is his favorite character in that group. And he talks about the timeline between initial reveal and actually getting it in hand was close to 9 years. Blitzwing was close to 10 years between reveal and in hand because Fans Toys is bad about someone else saying they're doing something, and within 24 to 48 hours, now this is my opinion, they'll drop a cat image and have no sense of time on when this thing's even coming out. But I like the fact you can pick between the two forms, the two general looks, animation versus toy. So I just wanted that as a quick aside. And one other thing, the jet don't look half bad for a broadside. Again, in 10 years when this comes out, if I'm still alive, I'll let you know what I think.
I just think it's ridiculous how long it takes them to get something produced like that. Like nowadays, it's like if you're gonna announce it, you probably should already had it, like at least in
Well,
prototype form. At this
well,
point,
the thing is also they're doing it to take sales because they know people will drop pre-orders on other products for theirs.
Mhm.
If they don't know that, their marketing team, however many people it is or isn't, should be fired because that's what happens. If they throw a CAD render up to keep people to drop their other competitors' products, and
Hmm.
then. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day.
Okay, well, let's scooch on down to the timelines thing, and we now have a squirrel transformer.
Well, a second squirrel transformer, technically, night glider.
Yeah. So Bumblebee actually turns into a flying squirrel. It's kind of interesting. It's different.
You know, when they announced this whole samurai motif, I was trying to figure out what would they have Bumblebee transform into to meet that motif, and you've got like Heinlad, which kind of fits that motif if you want to shoehorn him in.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
I think it looks kind of cool myself. I know that the arms fold out so that way the actual wings come out, so it looks like an actual flying squirrel. First time I saw this, I didn't see any context. I just saw the picture and I was like, "What is this thing? A flying monkey?" Because if you look
Yeah,
at his
first
head
thing
doesn't
people
look like a
thought it was
monkey.
a tanuki.
Tanuki.
Yeah, at first I saw people speculating it was tanuki, but it's very very much a flying squirrel.
I mean, I understand so this isn't really everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's cool because it's something different, and I'm glad to see something different. It doesn't turn into a car this time; it turns into a squirrel, which is an interesting choice, I think, for his character.
It's an interesting choice for any character.
Yeah, like we don't get
Yeah.
this kind of stuff that often. So, I mean,
Yeah.
is this
I will.
something? Is this something scratching like somebody's itch here or anything?
I'll be honest. Of the three timelines of the sets we've gotten, this one is doing the least amount for me because getting Hearts of Steel, Optimus, and the rest of them was absolutely incredible. The Optimus Starscream Samurai thing, the Optimus more than the Starscream is really interests me because you've got a ox and a cart that combine into Optimus. I'm there for that. Starscream is like, yeah, okay, I can see that. These two, I'll probably get it, but it's not like I'm, hovering over the order page waiting for them to go up.
So, what do you think, Cyber?
Yeah.
You're our beast, like dude. Figure
I
you'd be
think
all
these are
over these.
no. I think they're terrible. Um,
That's how you really feel.
I like the only one that I find clever is the Optimus Prime, like Don. Because making a deluxe class figure where he's an ox pulling a cart that transforms into
I mean,
is pretty clever, but
it should be called Optimus Prime.
yeah. But like I don't know, it's just my overall problem with this, like, because it's following up Hearts of Steel, and Hearts of Steel sort of set up this timelines line, and Hearts of Steel
But
had,
there's still more to do in that timeline.
yeah, but Hearts of Steel had character designs by, you know, comic book artists. That's why those two sets, you know, were solid, even if you don't really care for the aesthetic. They're solid looking figures. These feel so much like toys. I think that's kind of, and which is
Yeah.
a funny thing to say about toys, but these look like they should be sold in evergreen packaging in a dollar store. Especially
It
the Megatron. The Megatron is so terrible.
yeah, this set is if I
Fine.
got
Yeah.
They're goofy. They're goofy. They're so incredibly goofy, and not
Yeah.
really in a fun goofy way. It's kind of just like that. I
Yeah.
don't know how popular these are going to be. Like maybe they'll sell, but
Yeah, part of me is like mainline to me very rarely feels like a toy line anymore. I know it is, but it feels like it's a collector grade line made for a lot of people. These two right here kind of remind me, oh yeah, Hasbro makes toys, and this is a toy, not necessarily something for someone
like
who's been collecting as long as we have.
I can see some like I can see this Megatron being animated, but it
Let me bring up
uh
Megatron real quick.
like Leo Breaker from I see Leo Breaker from Cybertron is what I see when I look at it, in the face sculpt especially. Like I could just see really machinima era animation for these guys, and I don't know, they just don't. I feel like they ran with this beast, with this whole beast aesthetic, where I don't. I have a bit of a problem, as a Beast Wars guy. I don't really like mechanical. I don't like the mechanical animals. With the exception of maybe the Dinobots. The Dinobots are a whole lot of fun, and the Predacons are fun too. But for the most part, I don't like mechanical animals because a mechanical animal is not a disguise. So I kind of give a pass to the Ox Cart Optimus, because you can say that it's a more biological ox being pulling around a robot fold up into a cart, and then it just transforms into it. But I feel like they ran with this beast motif, and when they should have broadened their horizons, and like what other sort of modes of transportation and stuff they could have done from that era, um, and not just stick with beasts, because I get where they're going with the boar. There's like legends with the boar and Oni, because that's why he sort of has like that sort of demon motif. Megatron does, but like, why is Bumblebee a flying squirrel? I don't know. It's like it doesn't make a whole lot of like I see what they were trying to do, but when you're trying to create just like a what if it's a what if toy line of what if these characters were in these different timelines, and then this one's just like, okay, like if they were in feudal Japan or whatever, or in ancient China, that they would turn into giant mechanical animals.
I mean,
That
yeah,
doesn't seem right.
I see your point there. Like, to me, I personally think these would sell better if there was a comic book packed in with
Yeah, it's something sort of like the way the BotCon sets to me feel more cohesive, because all we're getting is this one snapshot into this universe. And if we
Yeah,
see how this happened, we have better context for this reality that we're seeing this narrow window of.
Yeah,
But
that might have
without
been a really interesting thing for them to do with it, is to have a two comic, a two book story, one that comes
yeah,
with the first set, one that comes with the second set, and that gives you a little something, a little more reason to buy it and read and see what they did with the characters.
yeah.
And it would also make the price of because these sets are going to be expensive. I think they were.
I think they're banking on almost 70 a set,
Yeah,
aren't they?
because they went
Yeah,
up quite
well,
a bit, I think.
yeah. So again, wait and see. I'm not going to be in any hurry to get this set. I do want to get the Optimus set, and I'll probably keep the Starscream because I don't want to break the setup. But definitely, this Bumblebee Megatron set is not, anything that I really looking forward to.
I can see that. I mean, I personally like this Megatron, but that's just me. Um, I'm just one of these kind of people that have kind of come to the conclusion that when it comes to Transformers, I would like to see different stuff. This stuff is different enough, but like I said, like no context or anything, it kind of makes it weird. If they had a comic book, that'd be cool. I
I
think the
think if this
reason
stuff was a
Cyberworld,
kids line,
yeah, like Cyberworld, for instance, the
yeah,
reason it's doing okay is because there's actually a thing people can watch on YouTube. That's like a little cartoon people can watch. They
if
give
there
you a
was a
little
cartoon made
context.
for like 6 to 10-year-olds set in like ancient Japan with these guys being, goofy. If these were packaged for kids, I would see these in a different light. But these are being sold as like a premium item, and the boxes look really nice. The boxes look really nice,
Yeah,
but these don't feel like they fit the boxes. They look so much like they were made to be sold to like a 6-year-old.
I mean, in a
um,
way, doesn't this kind of remind you of like with like late G1 with the Pretenders era? Isn't this kind of feeling a little bit like that, where it's like, oh, the robot isn't that great, the shell wasn't that great, it's kind of a cool gimmick, but not really that great.
It's
I'm
all
kind of
just
getting that
kind.
same feeling from this
It's all just
line.
kind of meh.
Yeah. Like to me, this is what they should have done with Pretenders. They could have continued the Pretenders era easily.
You
They
know,
could have made this one
all
into Snarler. This Megatron could have been Snarler for your Pretenders line easily. I could see that
well,
as
and
an
see, and the
easy
problem
redo
is
for that.
like, you know, I don't see these figures ever being used for anything else. And like, when I first saw the Bumblebee alt mode, because I think I saw the alt mode before the robot mode, I was like, oh, maybe they could make this into like a Night Scream, uh, you know,
Like a bat.
shoot, I don't know, I don't know why the name of the G or the Transmodel 2 left
Night
my
Glider.
mind, but yeah, Night Glider.
Yep.
But the robot mode definitely doesn't lend itself to that, not really. Um, and so yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is like a weird it's it's a weird experiment they're doing with this timeline stuff, and I just think they came out swinging with Hearts of Steel, and Hearts of Steel had fiction to back it up, and then I don't know. I don't know if this second showing is enough to keep this whole thing going.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
personally the Optimus is the one to me that wins the entire group. Like honestly, but the rest of them are just kind of. I feel like they're kind of shoehorned in. Like they're just trying to say, "Oh well, we got to do
yeah,
something
it feels
else."
like they had one idea, and that was Oxcart Optimus Prime. And
Hmm?
then they're like,
Yeah,
what are we going to do with the rest of them?
yeah.
Well, sticking with the beasts, we actually have in-hand images from Toys R Us's toy review of our big convoy
Oh,
next to the
I've been seeing
original.
so many pictures of this. I can't wait for this thing.
So what's your guys' thoughts on this thing?
Well, I'm already seeing people solicit the big giant cannon that he uses as a third-party add-on. I think it look. Big Convoy's never been like my like must love, but I definitely think it looks good, and it doesn't have to basically pull off all the elephant parts to transform. Because you can do that on the original toy. You can pull off all the mammoth parts and pretty much have a shell, and then have Big Convoy standing off to the side like he just shedded everything.
In a way,
So
he
I
was
think
a
it looks,
pretender.
yeah, in a way.
That's the
Uh,
Cybertron mode.
I will say though, the main reason I'm glad we're getting Big Convoy is that we may eventually get an Ultra Mammoth. So I'm excited for that as well.
So what do you think of this thing, Brett, next to the original?
Well, I like the original. So, I mean, the things I've seen them do to it, I think definitely make it better. We don't need all the gimmicky stuff. And this one, I'm hoping, I've only seen a few of it, has more articulation, which the original did have some articulation. So, overall, I mean, I would get one of these. And yes, I would definitely hope for some repaints out of it, like Don said.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll
Yeah.
probably end up definitely getting repaints of this. I don't see them using this once and not doing it again because
Yeah.
there's too much potential for this one. They have to repaint something that they're putting out, and this would probably be definitely one of them, I would think.
I mean, it's really going to depend on how well it sells. I don't feel like Magma. It's hard to gauge. I don't really have any look into it, but I feel like Magmatron was very well received, and it didn't seem like it sat around. So hopefully, Big Convoy does the same. Big Convoy was also one of those, someone my age who was into, in that era. Big Convoy was a figure you would look on the internet and wish you could get. Because it looked so much more complex than what you were used to with Beast Wars. And then there was so much of the Korean box stuff, and it got really cheap for a while. But that's how I ended up getting my original Big Convoy.
That's how a lot of people did.
Yeah. I think one of the things that you got to think about is like Magmatron was a good figure when it first came out. It was really solid, held together well, had some articulation, looked good, even profile and everything. And they made it better. So, this one, the original, looked really, really good. I wasn't a real big fan of the big gun and the bendy snout and all that. So I'm just hoping they just do this one better, like they did with Magmatron.
Yeah. Hopefully, a lot of stability.
You
The
start
biggest
out
problem with
with
the
that
original
good.
was the gun.
I think you got a good start.
The gun on the original
are combiners.
Hmm?
Get us our beast combiners.
I love it so
I really
much.
think that's what they should start doing, is focusing more on that and not doing the silly timeline thing they're doing. Like, finish out some of the Beast Wars stuff that wasn't done. I mean, right now's the time. A lot of people are pretty much, I'd say most people's pretty much tapped out on almost everything they want that's G1. A lot of people
I just don't know how popular Beast Wars Japan is.
Yeah, and Beast Wars here is still. I mean, even the Beast Wars still has a reputation. There's a lot of G1 guys that still don't like it. And there's a lot of new guys that refuse to watch it because it has bad CGI, which is such a shame because just look past it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't hold the CGI against a show for not looking like today's shows when it was
Yeah.
made 35 years ago or
Yeah,
whatever the
it's
case may be.
the second fully CGI show, and even from a history standpoint, like watching season 1 and watching the CGI progress all the way through the end of the series it's an interesting thing in and of itself. Because by the end they have like full vegetation in scenes and stuff like that, and it's so much different and so much higher quality than even from the start. But yeah, I mean, it's yeah, the Japanese Beast Wars is just. I was surprised when we got Magmatron.
Yes.
Um,
But happy.
I'm very happy. I'm not surprised that we're getting Big Convoy since Lio Convoy has gotten so many releases in America. Every time there's a Lion Transformer, they repaint it to Lio Convoy because it's easy. But Big Convoy, I expected it after getting Magmatron, and Magmatron doing pretty well. And I'm glad that we're getting it. We'll never get Galvatron. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Unfortunately, I think we got a better chance of getting Galvatron than we do the Combiners.
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to say. I feel like Magnaboss is probably higher. I would gamble that Magnaboss would be higher up than Galvatron, but I would think that I don't think that they would do a combiner as a general release. I feel like we would get it. The best chance to get it is something like, the crowdfunding.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't quite know if they could pull it off, but you could get Magnaboss or Tripredicus as a Commander box set. It would have to be on the smaller side, but that would also.
That's how I would want it to release. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they could pull off them. I think Tripredicus more than Magnaboss because Magnaboss does have Ironhide, and he would have to be fairly significant. Well, so would Clawjaw or whoever that was over in the Tripredicus set. But I think if you could get away with having one larger figure and then two smaller figures, as long as the combined mode looked balanced, kind of like that Predaking that they're doing for T-Spark. Individually, the Predacons are way too small compared to Razor Claw. That's because they gave Predaking the overall look of being proportionally correct, and then they got the Predacons they could from that look.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't mind your individual Magnaboss components and your Tripredicus components being a little wonky donkey, as long as the combined mode was balanced, you could probably do it as a commander class.
I mean, the originals were wonky, so.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm saying the way people look at this stuff now.
Yeah. Well, and see, the big thing, I think the benefit to Magnaboss is everything was in Santin or Ironhide. Most of the combiner was the elephant. And so it's really just the one character that kind of has to sacrifice to have combiner bits. And I imagine that would be how it would be if they did a release. I mean, I would want it to be a commander class. It doesn't need to be as tall as Magmatron. But, Magmatron just sort of proved that they could do it, and they could do it really well. I know that it doesn't have individual robot modes, but at the same time, in a lot of ways, Magmatron is more complicated than Magnaboss was. And then they went and just knocked that one out of the park. So I think Hasbro could do Magnaboss amazingly. They just have to think it's worthwhile doing. And maybe if some of this stuff sells well, it's always a possibility. Because they're trickling out the Beast Wars now. It's not coming out very fast. Big Convoy and Quick Strike. But maybe they'll keep giving us little teasers and little tastes here and there, and that's one I would really hope for because it's and as far as Beast Wars goes, especially Japanese Beast Wars, it's one of the more prominent characters in a Japanese Beast Wars show. So.
Yeah, we'll know if we ever get those that we won't be getting those figures when they do break first.
I like break.
I just want to know when they're going to do a modern the rabbit. When are they going to do that one? I want a modern version of that one. One I call Death Bunny because you got the red
I was
eyes.
surprised that I was surprised they didn't do Stampy. Like I kind of speculated that maybe they would try to do Stampy out of the Tasmanian Kid mold. It does. I don't know how it would really work, but or maybe the Rat Trap mold. But I mean, they killed off. The problem is they killed off the core class where it would have made the most sense.
I don't understand that because there's so many figures and so many characters that lead to a certain size. Now,
They'd rather just make you pay more for it as a deluxe.
well, the other day, I went to one of my local Walmarts. Not here in the big city. It was one of the smaller ones. And guess what happened? I walked in and they had their entire area was completely restocked. Tons of Cyber World. I'm not knocking on Cyber World. I personally think it's actually a brilliant little line. The funny thing is, though, every time I looked at any of those figures, all I saw was these are pretty much almost core class figures. How big they are.
Actually, some of the core classes were more complicated.
Well, they're complicated,
For the same
but
price.
I'm talking about like the size of them, and I'm like, maybe that's why they decided to get rid of core class, because they just decided to say, oh, well, core class isn't core class anymore. We're just going to take that size class and throw it into the Cyber World thing. So
No,
maybe
they probably core class got to be too expensive to make to sell at that price point. But these Cyberworld figures are so much more simpler that they can be sold at this price point. Whereas core class, I mean, look at that core Starscream.
yeah,
That's a lot of engineering in a figure that small, and compare that to that's only like 2 to 3 years ago versus the Cyberworld stuff at the same price point.
mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I could see, if they decide to do stuff like Stampy, there's a lot of the smaller Beast Wars figures that size, you know. But I mean, would you be happy with a Stampy that's deluxe size? It probably would be strange. It'd be completely out of scale.
Oh, not really, because look at Studio Series 86 Bumblebee.
That's true.
So I mean, because deluxe is not a size; it's a price
That's a
point.
price point now, yeah.
We all have an idea of what a deluxe should be,
Mhm.
but what we think it should be is not what Hasbro thinks it should be.
Yeah, it's like, when was it what year was it where they decided to just start following prices versus sizes? Like, do you remember what year that was?
I think the sizes and prices
Mhm.
we kind of made up because all the figures in that price point were around the same sizes.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically Hasbro making the figures they could at that price point, and it all just lined up because at that price point you can make X size figure.
Right.
And they were picking characters they could make at that price point, and they just naturally all resembled each other because that was the limitations of that price point where they could still make money. So once they got past Universe and making like giant Power Glide and stuff like that, when they realized they needed to match the characters more to each other, and that wound up being in the same price point. So I think we as collectors got into the mentality of this $25 deluxe price point, characters should be characters X because they look like this.
Mm-hmm.
Hasbro was looking at it like you need to make characters in this $25 price point that will make money at, and It just so happened that a lot of these characters all wound up being about the same because of limitations of what they were making. So we made it into a size class. It was actually, they were trying to make characters at that price point, so it did kind of fit. It was more like what they can make and still make money at $25 retail.
That makes a lot of
That,
sense.
that's my opinion on it.
Okay. What do you think, Megadus? Because I know you've been in the game for a long time, like you have.
As far as the size difference,
Yeah, like the size and like how they're classifying everything now.
I can't keep up with classifications. I can tell you right now because I mean we had basic. No, we don't have that anymore. We had
That scout
legends. No, we
class.
don't have that anymore. You know,
Basic became Scout, became Core.
Well, it
changed
became
it.
legend. Then
It
core.
it doesn't matter. There's price points. They're going to have some at
Yeah.
this price point, this price point, this price point. If they come up with a design and they feel that it's not in this price point, hey, let's add a few accessories and sell it for that price point anyway, as long as we
Like-
get their money.
Like that Hot Rod, the Hot Rod Plus, with all the extra stuff.
Right.
That bumped a deluxe Hot Rod up to a Voyager price point. Or that Springer that they came out with that was retooled from the previous Springer to be more 86 style, but he came with the sword and a wrecker hammer, and
The little bomb.
we got better things to do tonight than die bomb.
Well, and what did I say before? Every time they do that, they just give me a lot more stuff to put back in the box and not display.
But they're also feeling at least. I hate saying this, but at least they gave us enough to make it feel like you really weren't getting gypped
Mhm.
by the higher price point, because you did have the stuff if you wanted to use it. But if, like in your case, if you didn't want to use it, you can see why, you felt like you weren't getting the complete package. But from their standpoint, the money they saved on using an existing mold, even with the retooling, they gave you all this extra stuff to fill out the price point versus selling you the same figure remolded with nothing extra at that higher price point. So it could have been worse.
I mean, I always thought, like, when they made that Springer and it came out with the little bomb thing, I always thought it'd be cool because me, I like, papercraft, cardboard things, stuff like that. That they could have made like a little launcher that was in the back that you fold up to turn into that launching vehicle, which obviously would cost too much money just to make a background tank launcher, but something cardboard that you could either, I don't know, something that you rest the little bomb in, or maybe it was like rubber band, like catapult or something.
They did stuff similar to that when they made the backdrops with the little stage it came with, and I don't know about you guys, but I never used them.
All the excess stuff to throw
Maybe
away.
there was, maybe there are people that use that, but
Well,
they did something.
though,
It just wasn't for me.
well, yeah, like the whole background stage thing for them to stand on is cool if you want to set them up all side by side, but I think where they actually did that the correct way was the Netflix exclusive ones that had the parts to build like your own background of an arc. Like they were all like different sections. If they would do something like that more often in it, I think people would be happier than just getting some random stage of a random shot for the one robot to stand in front of, and that's it. And whenever you have a bunch that you put together as an entire backdrop, people are more prone to use those to actually, oh, well, I can take some double-sized sticky tape and put this in the back of my VTOL or DTOLF, and then, oh, then my guy's standing in front of the arc, or whatever. It makes better sense to do that than it does just throwing in a random background like they did with like some of the, the Bayverse stuff where they just have a random city on fire in the background. Just to me, that's the waste. I think it should go more, okay, you get a section of this, a section of that, a section of that. That makes people want to go chase those figures down and buy them because they want the background pieces. Because there are some people that want that. Because Hasbro hasn't really produced an entire background image thing like that. Most people have to go to Toy Hacks to get something like that for the back. It'd be better if it just came with the figures and it was just bits and pieces to kind of add to whatever's there. Like, I don't know, say a figure comes with a ton of like weapon accessories, you know, like why not have a little cardboard weapon rack that you can put together to just stick those on that stands next to you, the figure, you know, that you build that's made of cardboard. That's nothing that's going to cost a bunch of plastic expense. It's a little bit of design and a little bit of cutting, but I mean, you have to do the same thing for the cardboard boxes. Why not do that for like an add-on piece on the inside? You know, things to just enhance the figures, not to take away, but also not make it so that way it feels like you're getting kind of ripped off, that you have like, I got this random thing that I can't have the character hold. It just has it set in a box somewhere because he's got too many weapons, you know. And I don't think we've all ran into that problem where we've had a figure that had too many weapons and not enough places for that character to hold them, you know. But I don't know. It's one of those things that I've always found interesting, that when they did that Netflix set, that was where I was kind of hoping they would continue to go with that, but then they stopped doing it after, I think, what was it, 6 different sets or something like that, 5 or 6. I can't remember exactly how many figures that was. But continuing on with some of the
look
stuff.
at the Prime One cheaper.
Oh yeah. We also had another reveal to kind of help you guys finish out some of your target masters. Our shirt shot. And in my opinion, I think this actually looks really good compared to the original. It's slightly smaller, but not by much. And the target master actually looks like it works just like the original target master. So what do you guys think of this thing?
I think it looks great. I love the colors. I love the way it looks. I think it's just a great looking sure shot, and I cannot wait to have him in the collection.
What do you think, Megamus?
As someone that absolutely hated the G1, this is definitely 110% better. I was not a fan of the flip out the brick and stand him up, which essentially was what this was. No articulation, legs connected. It just wasn't that great. So this is definitely an improvement.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird that his rear wheels didn't really have anything, you know, no actual hubcappy type of thing like the front wheels did on the original. It was very chunky and very kind of play school feeling, in my opinion. I think it was kind of neat.
I mean, you had the forearms moved, and that's about it.
Yeah, that really was about it. I mean, you had just the elbow joint, but I mean,
I don't like it because he doesn't have the little Danny DeVito legs, and that's disappointing.
All I can say is when you don't have as much articulation as the G1 Ultra Magnus brick, there's something wrong.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, it looks. I mean, I don't have any love for a lot of these characters. You know, I definitely have never owned the original or anything like that. But I mean, it looks like it's pulled it off a lot better than the original toy for sure, and it's got all of the colors. it's very bright. Yeah, this era is just you know, I was never big. I always liked the idea of target masters. and stuff like that, but I don't know if I ever really loved the execution of them. Same with the headmasters. I like the idea of headmasters a lot less, but the target masters, it was always an interesting. It was always interesting. I just didn't entirely like the execution of it. Um, but I mean, did they do Sure Shot in uh, Titan Returns when the last time they did Target Masters?
No,
No,
this
they're. Go ahead.
I was about to say, I think isn't this the first time they've done like a
This
modern
is
version of this?
this is the first Sure Shot ever since the original. There's not been a third party, and there's not been anyone else that's done a Sure Shot in any fashion. I don't think there's even been an homage figure done, like how Breakaway from the Chrome Dome mode was sort of done as Getaway. Oh no, I'm sorry, not Chrome Dome. It might have been, but they
Yeah,
also
yeah,
used
you're right.
the X. Yeah, they also used the Exilian mold. The Hot Shot mold, the Cybertronian Hot Shot mold, is a reference to Getaway. But no, this is the first Sure Shot anything since the original.
It looks like in G2, they, for whatever reason, the European market renamed Hero Optimus Prime to Sure Shot. But yeah,
Yeah, they did. Well, the thing is with
that was fun to
Hero,
look.
like I've always thought of Hero, Optimus Prime, and Generation 2 as Sure Shot, not as Hero Optimus, because I always thought he was a different character. Um, and it just, I don't know, it seemed to fit better in my own psyche when it came to that. But I mean, personally, I always thought it was kind of cool that, the European version didn't have Optimus Prime on his chest. So it was really just two different stickers. Same thing with the Hero Megatron, where it didn't say Megatron Rules. It's just a big sticker. Although it's kind of funny if it said Megatron Rules, because then maybe Arch Force is just a huge fan of Megatron, so he just slapped it on his chest, because that's just hilarious. Just in my headcanon, I just think that's funny. But I always thought it was strange that they decided to use that as Optimus Prime, because it's a white truck with a red trailer that kind of inverts colors when you transform it. I was extremely upset that they didn't take that Amazon truck and do that with that trailer, like change the trailer and do all that to make that Hero Sure Shot Optimus. I don't know why they didn't do that, because that was literally that truck. Like, the cab became the feet, and it did exactly what it should do. And I don't understand why we never got a recolor like that. Instead, we got
I mean, he's pretty new
Santa
though, right?
Claus Happy Candy Cane Prime.
I imagine that Target probably has some sort of deal with them to not use it for anything but Target for a certain amount of time or something like that.
Well, it's supposed to have been an Amazon exclusive at first, and then
Yeah,
it
and
was. Then they redid it in its original Transformer Generation 1 colors. Then they did it in the candy cane Santa Claus thing. They didn't recolor it after that, though, I don't believe, that I can think of. They never did a black one, did they? Like a Nemesis?
no.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't even try doing that. But this little reveal here that should make Megamus very happy to see, because he's Mr. Minibot. It's a little better picture of Windcharger next to the original, and I would say, what was that, more the recent Windcharger in the back, maybe a couple waves back or something like that.
That was the
Age of the Primes.
Combiner Wars.
Oh, is it Combiner Wars one?
Yeah, it came out in that era. It didn't have it. It didn't really do anything with the Combiner Wars figures, but I think it was around that era.
So
Might
here
be a
you go,
little off.
Megamus. What do you think about this?
Love it. Looks good. Definitely looks like the original. I think the scale was good. The definite transformation looks good. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the hollow feet, but I'll live with it.
I think it looks pretty fantastic myself. I'm a pretty big fan of how that's actually turned out to look. One thing is I'm noticing he doesn't look like he has the T-tops.
Well, they probably had to skirt the edge of, just
Licensing.
legally distinct enough, because that's why Bumblebee generally is a vague Volkswagen shape, and Jazz is vaguely Porsche shaped, because they're not going to pay you licensings for something that's not Masterpiece or along those lines, where they can
Yeah,
charge the money.
it looks like it has two squares. I'm looking at the image of it or the product images. It has like two squares on the top. They're just painted red, or they're just molded in red.
Oh, okay. So they're just solid. They're not actual windows. So I
Yeah.
guess Toy Hacks will probably fix that problem then, knowing them.
So yeah, like this, a lot of the legally distinct vehicle modes. It looks good though. I mean, it pulls the character off. And I think when we talked about it last time, it'd be interesting to see how the companies do the filler for the legs, because it looks like his leg basically wraps around.
Yeah, it's not very good. But
I'm wondering how a tailgate would look like this. Do you think they would remold the chest? Because I know they'll remold the head, but would you think they'd redo something on the chest to make this tailgate as well?
they could. It wouldn't be that hard to do.
Yeah.
I just hope it doesn't
I
have
don't
a yellowing issue.
Yeah, that's. I mean, but you like even the grays here on this and the blues, you could worry about yellowing. It seems like yellowing is gone beyond white plastic these days.
Yeah. So you're having this on pre-order, right? Are
Is
these
it up
actually
for
up
pre-
for pre-order yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I figure
And
Megamus
then
will
I
probably have it
found
on
like
pre-order.
Pulse.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty snazzy looking car. They've done a really good job with that.
Like I keep waiting for like I don't think they've put Big Convoy or I haven't seen Big Convoy, Quick Strike, or Razor Claw go up anywhere. We've been kind of waiting for those to put something out for them, but so far I haven't seen those on retailers.
So here we go.
I
Here's a
keep
good
forgetting about Razor Claw.
here's a good comparison of both the Seekers, the current one, the Earthrise, next to the new one. What
Yeah.
are you guys' thoughts on this?
Eh,
I don't want to like the new Seeker because one, it's now $42 at a Voyager price point. Two, I don't want to even consider swapping out. Three, I don't want two sets of Seekers. And four, it looks good, but unfortunately, my original plan was to get the Seekers they haven't done in the Earthrise form, Sunstorm, and so forth. They ain't going to look right on the shelf. So I will probably be passing on most of these. At least that's what I'm telling myself right now.
I mean,
I may
these
be
have
lying
a
to myself.
very cartoon aesthetic.
Yeah,
So,
because you can take the fins off the legs and put them on the back of the wings to give you that sunbow look. Or if you want the toy look, you can do like what the Starscream has, and you don't have to remove it for transformation.
so what do you think of this thing, Magnus?
pass. I don't need any of them. I got one of the the Siege, the Starscream that came with the little throne.
Mm-hmm.
I got that because it was on sale for like $20, and I wanted the throne. But other than that, nah, I'm good. By the time I buy this, they'll come out with something better. Want me to buy something new?
Isn't that how it usually goes, though?
It's usually right after I buy it.
Yeah.
There's something better already exists. It's called the Masterpiece.
I have them.
I mean, well, the people are saying this is like a mini masterpiece at this point, but I
I
mean,
mean, a lot of the '86 stuff has been
a lot of
very
it
like.
is.
The only thing like that is glaringly standing out to me about it is just that split down the front of the legs. I can't not see it. But
Well,
like
it's
I
distracting.
have Masterpiece, Starscream. I never really got Thundercracker. I still kind of need to get Skywarp. I never really cared about Thundercracker, to be perfectly honest. Skywarp always stood out because he's got really cool colors. Starscream stood out because he was Starscream. Thundercracker kind of just always was nobody really to me. He was just blue Starscream. But I mean, the mold itself seems like, you know, if you haven't already bought like 5 sets of Seekers at this point, like if you're wanting to pick up a set of Seekers, it seems like this is a mold to do it on because it looks good. I mean, it's pretty close to the um to what it looks like in the cartoon. Um, it's just a shame that we're at this point in time when prices are going up, um, and then there is always the questionable plastic. We've seen a lot of blues, a lot of blue plastic has been yellowing. But I mean, I think it looks good, and hopefully it is good. I have no interest in it because I don't really collect. The only G1 stuff I really buy into occasionally is the masterpieces that I've been really interested in, and then I've been pretty interested in the missing link stuff. Like I'm getting my RC tomorrow.
You'll like her.
But yeah, it's
So do you
none of the
guys?
SS86 stuff has been really for me. But I mean, I think it looks good. If I was still a heavy collector in everything Transformers, I probably would have been pretty excited to get it. But
So you guys all have your RC, but Cyber.
Mine didn't come in. It got delayed.
Okay. Well, we'll wait until you guys all get it, and then we'll do like an entire episode talking about that toy, because it's a very significant piece, I would say, in Transformers history for this to actually be brought to life. And I think it'd be kind of cool to have all you guys that have already had, a little bit of experience getting to mess with it and stuff and see what you guys really do think of something that was concept art that actually came to life. So I think it's a really, underrated thing when toys like that do become a thing, you know.
I have for whatever reason I've collected a small RC collection. I didn't intend to, but I have because I have the masterpiece. I have the IDW I have the IDW, the Flame Toys model kit. I'm getting Nicey, or I'm getting I have Nicey. I'm getting the Missing Link. I probably have a few other RCs buried somewhere. Like I have the old Generations one. So sort of just built up a little RC collection for some reason.
Kind of happens whenever you're just out and about collecting things. Here's a quick look at the new 86 Soundwave. with the previous one that had come out.
Mhm.
He seems
It's
to be a
quite a bit
little
bigger.
bigger.
It is significant. I thought it would be about the same size, and they were using the other one as a base for it, but it looks like there may be shared parts, but
Yeah. The chest,
definitely-
the chest area seems to be maybe about the same size, like the tray,
maybe
but
maybe the torso is the same. It's just everything's been beefed up. I don't know. This is the first side by side picture I've seen. I'm surprised it's that much bigger overall than the legacy version.
Well, I mean, they're saying that this actually scales with Optimus and scales with Megatron the way it should. Not as short as he
which
was before.
is what you would expect with the 86 stuff for sure.
Right. I mean, the colors, I think they are spot on. I really like the colors on this one. They're a little more vibrant. They're not as muted. I don't know. Just this seems more like Soundwave in
Because he
my
was brighter
eyes.
blue in the cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they seem to always go with the more toy color versions. Lately, but yeah, I mean, it's maybe a little bright, but it's not too bright.
Well, for me, after seeing these two side by side, I'm going to have to get one now. I do like it a lot better because I've got the one on the left, and looking at the two, I'm like, eh.
I've always liked Soundwave. Like, I have a G1. I have like the reissue Soundwave that came out back in like 2020. And then I have that weird clear white and orange one from the year of the whatever, I can't remember what year it was. I've thought about maybe with the re-release of the Masterpiece getting the MPG, but I mean this one does look pretty good. I probably won't get it, but I mean it's nice to see just a little extra size, giving him panels that actually close on his wrists, so he doesn't have those big open gaps and stuff like that. Like it's just like a little. It's enough size to fill in some of the compromises with the smaller one that they made. So I mean, it looks good. I mean, it's undeniably Soundwave.
I mean, it does have a little bit of the finger articulation, which is nice. That way you can actually have him, press the button on his chest, look a little more natural than the older one, where it just looks like it's kind of a thing sticking out of the fist instead of it actually, opening and closing hands. So I think it's a pretty fantastic looking Soundwave. Like this is like the head shape. I don't know what it is, but if you look at the head shape on the new one compared to the old one, it just seems, I don't know, proportioned better or something. There's just something about it. It just seems to work better for me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the way the vents are on the sides of his mouth plate. It just looks right. It doesn't look slightly off. But I thought it was a really, really interesting comparison to see that, because I know this is probably the big deal breaker for a lot of people is how big is he, and does he actually
But he's Soundwave. He'll still sell out because he's sold out most places now for the pre-order.
it's very true. And then
Everything's Soundwave, so
I want to get the Lego Soundwave.
and then here's your
That's my
I'm
plan.
debating on getting that.
here's your ultimate.
I have the Optimus. The Optimus
showdown,
is good.
so-
The only one that I think that looks awful is Bumblebee, which is why I still haven't picked it up.
I'm meeting to hijack this. You think the Prime is good? Because I've been debating on getting that one.
I like the Prime. Like it's you don't have to take anything off it to transform it. It looks good in its robot mode. It looks good in its vehicle mode. The transformation is actually pretty interesting and fun. And the accessories that you can build for it are really cool. I think it's a really cool Lego set.
If they get it down to under $100, I'd think about it.
Yeah, and I think from what I saw, the Lego set, the Soundwave Lego set looks really good as well. Like the Optimus. I mean it comes you get to build Ravage and Laserbeak with it, which is pretty cool. Bumblebee is the only one for me that really it just didn't really look like it pulled it off very well. But Optimus was I really enjoyed Optimus. It was a fun set to build, and the results were cool.
Here's something theoretically. I don't think we talked about it, but if they were to do the Lego Megatron, someone could put out designs to turn him into something else.
Oh yeah,
A
easily.
submarine.
That's right.
A submarine.
Submarine.
That's right.
Yeah, that one's a funny one because, like, yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, technically, it comes just as a bunch of bricks, right?
Yep, exactly.
I mean, you can really pretty much build anything you wanted to out of him if you wanted to. But, you know, we can say what he should build and what he shouldn't.
Yeah, but you gotta. Yeah, but without buying a bunch of extra parts, can you do it with what's in the box?
Mm-hmm.
I have faith they could do it if they wanted to.
I just
They
don't
could
know
do
if
it.
they will or not. Because, I mean,
They won't.
it's a whole IP thing with them, and there's just like, and you got to remember how much Lego is actually being supported by Disney properties now. Like, I don't think Lego would be able to stand on its own if they didn't have Disney at this day and time, because there are way too many other Lego-ish or brick building-ish companies out there that are
I
doing.
don't know. Lego's got a huge following.
Oh yeah, they do.
I mean, their aisle is still huge at every store.
Their aisle is huge, but there's a lot of people.
I mean, they just, and I get it, it's Disney too, but they just put out $1,000 set and sold out.
Well, they put $1,000. What was that?
It's that Death Star.
The Death Star.
And it's a joke. It's a joke.
It's a joke. It looks awesome.
No, dude. Like, have you compared it to the original? The original is so much better.
I have the original.
Okay, well, remember how the original is an actual globe. This isn't a globe. This is a slice. It's a pizza slice.
It's a cutaway.
It's
a cutaway. It's a
play set, and you get Hot Tub Stormtrooper. Come on.
What?
Most people buy just
get
for
Hot Tub
figures.
Stormtrooper.
Hot Tub.
I gotta pull it up and look at it.
It's like a freaking $200 figure.
I don't know,
I'm dead
man.
serious.
Like, when it comes to Lego, dude, I'm sorry. Lego had, like, when they first started doing Star Wars in the early, like, late 90s, early 2000s, I was like, okay, this is cool. But then whenever they had to recycle the same vehicles 4 times over, and they've constantly done the same stuff, it makes me think, no. And on top of the fact that the price point just keeps going up and up and up and up. And I'm like,
well, you're definitely right in the price point. They price themselves out.
Well, that's the biggest problem with a lot of this stuff. And you got these other companies. Have you ever heard of a company called Lumi Bricks?
No.
Okay. Well, they used to go by a name called Funhole, as like WHOLE. And they have, yeah, I know, it's funny, isn't it? All their sets have LED lighting with them. The sets are, quality first off is identical to Lego, identical to Mega Constructs. Same quality. They have special lighting kits that come with them. You do not have to buy separate. They cost a fraction of the amount of money it does for a Lego set, and they're more involved, and they're just all around better. And that's the problem I have with Lego. Lego keeps, I don't know, it's You guys remember way back in like the mid to late 90s where Lego was in that weird slump and they were giving you like, if you bought a Lego set, it was like less pieces, but you had large pieces that would take over those parts. That's where I feel Lego is right now, because all they're doing is constantly giving you less for more money. And that's what people don't want. And I'm seeing that more and more in the toy industry with a lot of things lately. I'm just like, that is kind of a pet peeve of mine, because I was a huge Lego fan. Don't get me wrong. When I was a kid, I bought Lego, but I did buy Tyco bricks back in the day. So I did get in on boats, but I also noticed, okay, the Tyco figures weren't the greatest, but the bricks were fine. There was nothing wrong with the bricks. So later on, as time progressed, yeah, Lego just kept going up in price, and I saw quality of what they were making go down. Like, it wasn't great. And now what they do now are display pieces. They don't do, I'd
I was
say,
gonna say
kid-friendly sets to put
they're
together.
well, they do it. They have some, but
Yeah,
I don't
it's very
think
little.
it's. I mean, honestly, it's my generation is what is floating Lego completely. Like my generation is the ones building Lego sets, and they want complicated Lego sets. Um, the reality is kids just don't play with toys anymore. Um, but what Lego did do is they took over the model kit market. That's really what they did in a lot of the West. Like you have to go to a hobby store to buy model kits now, right?
Yep.
So like, and I mean, I don't have them on display. I need one. Hopefully, I get some way to display them at some point. But ever since I started collecting the Speed Champions when they went to from 6 to 8 pegs wide. I started collecting them, and they're fun little like basically car model kits. Yeah, they build out of Lego.
Have you
But they're
looked at the
definitely like
Mattel ones yet?
the Hot Wheel ones.
Yes. They are
Yeah,
phenomenal. They have
I have
die-cast
been
pieces.
I've been very tempted by a couple of them. I just right now like I don't have a whole lot of places to put them, especially the big ones, because like I still haven't built a couple, or I still haven't built like a dozen of the Speed Champions since most of my stuff was in storage for a while. So I was just buying them and putting them in storage.
Mhm.
And then I have a couple of the creator sets, the really big cars that I still haven't built. But yeah, I've seen those. I was looking at one of those the other day. I think it was the Corvette. I think it's the one that was out. It looks so good. So I'll probably end up buying one of those and try and build it because it looks, and that it comes with a Hot Wheel on the
Yeah,
side.
they
It's
like
pretty cool.
the larger ones. They come with a Hot Wheel.
Yeah.
They come with die-cast rims. That's actual metal pieces held on with bricks. Like, there are other companies doing what Lego has been doing for years better now. And the problem is Lego isn't stepping up their game. They're following that same trend. They think that trend's going to keep carrying them. I'll be honest with you, I don't see that consistently carrying them forever, because there's too many other
Well,
companies out there doing exactly
I
what
think
they're doing better and cheaper.
I think what will do them the most harm is just their heavy reliance on IP does mean that they're at the whim of how popular the IP is, and like they kind of strike. Like there's still a lot of love for, despite Star Wars being in a slump. There's still a lot of love for it, and it still sells a lot. Like I don't think there's a shortage of people buying Star Wars Lego, but it's always just if Star Wars does continue to fall out of favor, maybe that would be different. Maybe we'll start seeing the aisles shrink, because right now the aisles like 40% Star Wars.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, if you think about it, if you're gonna when we were younger, we all remember the days when we walked in Lego aisle. You didn't see IPs. Everything was its own thing. You had space. You had castle. You had town. You had was it Fubuland? You had Duplo. You had all different sections of stuff. You even had basic blocks. And the basic blocks are cool that they're putting out now, as far as I'm concerned. I think those are neat. But I think where they lose people is the fact that they don't put any alternate ways of building things on the back of the box. They're too busy building a stock item, shooting thousands of photos of that, slapping that all over the box instead of actually putting some creativity behind what they're making to show what else you can do with the set. And I think that is by far probably the biggest thing that made me walk away from Lego, because that's one of the biggest reasons why I didn't even look at the Transformer Lego sets, because I was like, I had Creo. Creo was fun. I'd say the figures, the smaller figures to me were fun. The bigger vehicles and stuff, they were.
I liked the
great.
microchangers. Like I was pretty big into the microchangers.
Yeah, those were kind of cool too. But I think this fact that you have this huge model of Optimus that, from I've even heard from several people, it's had for several years, it gets weak in its hips and then it wants to fall forward. This is built to Lego. No one's going to go in there. What are you going to do? You're going to start super gluing and gluing things together to keep it together. Most people won't. If you like to build Lego, that's
like
fine.
You said, you have it. Do you have any problem with yours?
Well, mine hasn't been on display for several years. I built it before I put everything into storage, and it's been in vehicle mode the whole time.
But I'm just saying, I've heard some people say it just gets weak in the hips and then it just wants to fall over. I'm just like, how different is that than having a masterpiece Transformers you've bought and then it falls over? Oh wait, the Lego one falls over, it busts into 1,000 little pieces, then you turn around and try to put it back together again.
Yeah, but when
Masterpiece, if that falls, you
MPO1
gotta try
fell
to glue it
over,
back together and it's completely destroyed. So there
no,
is
when
a,
MPO1 fell over, it just knocked you out, and while you were sleeping, because you
you
put it
woke
over
up
your
the
head.
next morning and there was a crater in the floor. That thing was heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to the deterioration of it, but when I built it and I was had it displayed for the short time I had it before I packed everything up to move, and it right now it's still packed up. I thoroughly enjoyed building it and displaying it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I also don't play with my toys, so I usually don't wear my joints out very fast or anything like that. So
I don't know. I'm always kind of people. I like to play with the toys I have. So my whole thing is, if I buy something built of bricks, I'm able to take it apart and build whatever the heck I want to build out of it. But if the sheer purpose of buying it is for that one thing and that's all it is, then I might as well just buy a model kit or buy a toy of that and not buy a brick thing. Does that make sense? Because that's just how I feel about that kind of stuff. To me, if you buy a brick kit's meant to be took apart and put back together 1,000 different ways. That's just kind of how I feel about that type of stuff. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like if I buy a model kit, you put the model kit together once, that's it. It's done. Usually you glue them together. If they're snapped together, they're usually hard to take apart. When it comes to brick buildings, I should be able to build it any way I want and not have any issues, but also not be forced into paying a price point for something that's literally a bunch of bricks that I could go on Bricklink and pretty much put together the same thing for even cheaper or whatever. There have been times I bought Mega Blocks back in the day. I had more fun with the Mega Block sets than I did with the actual Lego sets that was on the shelf.
Yeah, and you probably could, and I feel like at the time there was people out there who had like a list of, you could go buy this and basically build the Optimus. I think there might be a few specialized pieces, but I can't remember. And you probably could potentially build it for cheaper by breaking it out, but
I mean, that's my argument on this stuff. It's like everything is a black box that's in the Lego aisle. It's not even colorful. It's just like,
well, and that's where
I don't know.
again
I
it's
hate even
appealing
looking at
to
that.
collectors and stuff now. It's really for to to be Lego is for adults at this point. Um,
Yeah, but
and to me, it has become the model kit. It is the model kit of this generation.
yeah, I can understand
I
that.
still like them.
And that's the thing. Like to me, I'm not knocking anybody that likes them or doesn't like them. I'm just saying there are other options out there. I myself, I never had a whole lot of money, so I didn't have tons of Lego at the point where
Oh, I
you
never
know
had Lego.
I had a lot of Lego, but
I stole them from my friends. Well, with the exception of Bionicle. Bionicle took over after Beast Wars. I was a big Bionicle kid, but
now, yeah, Bionicle to me, okay. If Lego would have followed that route, I probably would have stayed on board because it was its own IP they created. They built their own thing. They were articulated figures. Most of them did not fall apart very easily. You can actually play with these, and they were just fun, you know? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but it seems like anytime I go down a Lego aisle, I'm like, yep, I'm going to buy something that's going to sit on the shelf and gather dust for the next 10 years because it's never going to get touched.
I mean, their own IPs last for a while. Like I think Ninjago or whatever lasts for a good long time. Um, but yeah, it's just eventually the thing with the kid targeted lines is eventually the kids, in 2 to 3 years grow out of being interested in it. They hit puberty. They don't toys aren't cool anymore, and that's usually what kills those lines that are their own proprietary IP. Which I think is why ultimately Lego has gone into other IP.
Right. I mean, like for me, thing I did buy recently, I haven't gotten a chance to put it together, but I did get one. These blocky sets, one of the bigger ones. To me, this is like, okay, it's going to be a large action master, basically, is what it's going to be. I'll get to put together
It
and
is.
play with and pose. And
It is.
and that's what I'm going to do. I'll do a live stream of putting this thing together.
It will take a while.
That's fine. I like doing this kind of stuff. This is stuff I live for. But
Yeah, the Soundwave was had more pieces than that one, and it took a while. But it's nice. I mean, you can move it around, you can articulate it, but yeah, it's just a posable statue.
which to me, this is more of an action figure type of thing. Like when it comes to Lego, Lego really isn't an action figure type of thing now. It's a thing you set up and you rarely ever touch it. You may move a figure or two around on.
I
And
would disagree a little bit, especially with like the Batman sets. I mean, the Batcave. There's a lot of things you can do with it. It's just like I'm looking at that Death Star that you said isn't, but it is, and it's just a huge playset.
I mean, it's just
It's neat.
for the price that they're asking, though. I'm like, I can buy
It's
two.
outrageous.
I could buy two of the original for less than $1,000 and build that
Yeah,
same thing even better.
if you're talking about the first one they did, not the Death Star 2.
Yeah, the first
Yeah,
one.
they're right. They're anywhere from 350 to 500.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I could buy two of those and literally build that thing, and I'd have more fun with it. Like, I don't know
Right.
what it
Like
is.
I
Like,
said, I've had
if,
that one. This one, just by the looks of it, has way more rooms, way more figures. It's bigger, even though it's flat. It's a lot bigger.
did you know there's some false advertising in it, though, in the stock photos? The TIE fighter that comes with it does not actually come with it. That's a whole separate gift set that you get with it if you opt in to get that gift set. Otherwise, you don't get it. Which to me is misleading. They should have never put those pictures of that on the box with this whole item, showing that when it's not even in the box with it. That's that to me. That's kind of where Lego has really fallen off for me, because it's greed over paying attention to what they're doing and the quality of what they're trying to put out. Like it's ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I've had more people talk. I've seen a lot of people that are in the brick community talk about that thing, and they're just like, this thing is a joke. Like, the amount of money is absolutely ridiculous. Yes, you have people that bought it, but you also have people that are influencers online that get these things for free that's sent to them so they can say good things to try to promote this thing. And even afterward, they're just like, this thing's a piece of junk. So
unfortunately, there's a lot of toy reviews like that too. So I mean,
yeah.
it's in every community.
Oh, it is 100%. Like, anytime I've like messed with anything, like a couple times, the short amount of time I got a chance to play with the 86 Megatron, right? I did the whole unboxing and everything like that. It's an okay toy to me. It doesn't do anything huge, spectacular. It makes my mind go, oh my gosh, this is the best thing. Because I've messed with a lot of different Megatrons, you know. So it looks cool in robot mode. The tank is all right. I don't see it being a very good G2 tank, you know.
Yeah, I think what they did was basically they needed to get the best looking robot G1 looking Megatron in robot mode because they knew people were going to have him next to Optimus. And just like that Predaking I mentioned a while back, they got the best tank mode they could from the robot mode. I want this to be the last G1 Megatron I ever buy. So I'm perfectly happy with this Megatron. I have that Optimus. I cannot sit here and imagine them doing these two characters in G1 any better in mainline. So I'm good. We got Siege. We thought Siege was really good. Then we get Earthrise, and Earthrise is in most ways better than Siege. And now we have this Commander Optimus. We have this Leader Class Megatron. I think we're good. It's sort of like the RC they did, the last mainline RC they did. It's not perfect, but this is the last G1 RC I think we need to buy other than the missing link.
I mean, they even did the Headmaster RC, which is good. You know, at least they had dipped fingers in that. Like, I
Well, I
think
mean,
we're getting to a point with G1 stuff that there isn't much that they haven't really done better. Maybe Big Power needs a re-release of something different, because no, that set wasn't the greatest, the grandest. I mean, I don't really know what other G1 stuff they really need to do that's a huge improvement, other than maybe was the Target Master Juniors, the small ones, like Landfill and Quick Mix and all those. Those haven't had like anything yet. Or
Well, the headmasters in general really haven't. Not all of them.
which ones did they miss out on? Because they just did horrible.
The Chrome Dome, the Hard Head. If you're telling me those
the four
retro
Walmart
things
ones
we got were horrible.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't bad, but they were pretty damn good.
Yeah.
With at that price point at that time.
I would rather see something like that.
I mean, honestly, I'd like to
that
see
sure
them.
shot looks a lot better than they do.
I mean, they could do more Power Masters. They haven't really.
Well, I mean, they just now did it, but they did the MPG Apex Armor Primes. I mean, the Power Master is out there, so you could expand upon that, sure.
Yeah, I mean, because Dreadwing, we only got the what was the newest ones came out was during Titan was it Titan Returns, but they're kind of Combiner Wars style. Those two that came out. But I think that's
No, yeah. Those were,
that's the newest version of those that they've done. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, I think when it comes to a lot of the G1 stuff, there's not a whole lot left that they have left to do, really. That they haven't actually modernized in some way or form, within the past 10 years, I'd say, the past decade.
all right, give me some throttle bots.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying,
guys.
Throttle Bots.
Yeah, I've got to go, guys. I apologize, but I need to go.
Okay.
So, y'all guys have a great night. Everybody, take care.
All right. See you,
Yeah,
Doug.
see you,
All
Don.
right, man.
See?
Oh my goodness. These Halloween Discord sounds. I forget that they've changed because it's almost Halloween.
I don't have any of that on, so I don't know. I haven't messed
Yeah, I
with
know what you're
that.
talking about.
So I got Discord running, obviously, but I haven't messed with that. But
There's still stuff out there they could do.
yeah, I think there is stuff, but the problem is they keep recycling the same stuff. This is the issue.
Right.
They
I'm
need
just-
to stop with the recycling.
How many primes do you need? How many bumblebees do you need?
Well, think about this,
Say,
dude.
Every line.
Every line, they
No
always
doubt.
hit like the big 5 or 6.
Sure they do.
Megatron, Optimus, Bumblebee, Starscream, Soundwave, or Shockwave. Oh, then again, they might throw in a Grimlock, but then what do? They turn right back around to the same ones over and over and over. And where's our modern quick mix? Where's our modern landfill? Like, they did Quake. They kind of did Scoop way back when they started doing
I'm sorry,
Target
but
Masters, but
those remakes they did of Chrome Dome and all that, those were terrible.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, but at least they still had the Headmaster aesthetic. At least it was a Headmaster, not a.
Like, but you're talking about two important characters in the
can't
Headmasters, and they. Ugh.
I can't defend Titan Returns because that's literally what made me stop collecting for 2 years. I
gotcha.
So.
Yeah, there's not many of those I have either.
I mean, some people liked them, some people didn't. Like, I mean, I didn't like the idea that they made Blaster and Soundwave a Headmaster. I thought that was silly. Like, when they started taking characters that did not need to be Headmasters and turned them into Headmasters, I thought was dumb.
Yeah, I mean, those lines were all like, let's take a gimmick to its logical extreme. Make everyone a combiner, make everyone a headmaster, or a target master.
I mean, to be honest, Combiner Wars, I didn't mind the combining aspect of everybody. I thought that was cool. They made it so there's a full play pattern.
Yeah, it worked. It worked better than the headmasters.
But with the headmaster thing, it was like, oh well, you're gonna have tons of these little guys. Okay, cool. Nightbeat is this little drill tank looking thing, but just turns into the head, and that's it. There's no actual body it goes to. Like, those were weird. When Titan Returns came out and they decided to do like the little pretender shell things, I was all about that. Keep going with that. They didn't, and it drove me nuts. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, they're going to continue with that. When they teased,
there's only one good headmaster power shell thing, and that was the one that came with Convobat. That was the Megatron head and the Optimal Optimus. I do have those. That set is, but I had to get it. Beast Wars collector.
Oh yeah, that was a deep cut for them to do that, which I didn't think that was bad. I thought that was kind of a cool little quirky thing, but I don't know. It's just like
I like it. I wish they would have done at least would have done what's its face, the alligator, as that Megatron, and would have done a proper 2-pack. with Combat and Mega
Of
Alligator.
course, Megatron.
Yeah. Really surprised they didn't do that though, because they had Skullcruncher.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
So I was like, why?
I was
they
really
just
surprised that
repainted
didn't happen.
green? But they might not have done it because they probably didn't think it would have sold. But I just think it's weird that they did the Bat, but they didn't do the Megatron. It's one of those things where Hasbro keeps coming out saying they're going to do a whole complete set of stuff, but when 10 years later you're still waiting on the same thing. Like, who wants to wait over a decade for something? They just don't. You know, like that's what I think personally. Like, I'm not knocking on the new combiners. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's a missed opportunity for how much time they're putting into the new combiners that they could have been doing this other stuff to finish out the stuff that they promised all the fans. Like you said, where's the rest of the Throttle Bots? We got Chase. That was it. And I'm like, where's the rest of them? Can't tell me you can't do a Gold Bug, you know, or Rollbar. Like, and Rollbar would be an easy one. You can easily probably repaint that little Jeep thing into several things, I would think. But that's just my opinion. Like, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of missed opportunity right now with the amount of recycling the same figures and just a lack of, I don't know, pull that they should be having. Like, we're talking about like the Beast Wars stuff. How many Beast Wars figures have they not touched? You know, a ton. There's a lot of the Robots in Disguise where they started doing that. Well, they barely even touched that and then walked away. Like, I don't know. There's so many lines that they really just need to start looking and think harder into. Like, there's a huge love for the Unicron trilogy, and they're barely even touching that. And I'm just like, people would love a modern Cyclonus out of Armada, you know? I mean,
I'm surprised they haven't gone harder on Armada, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that and Demolisher. Like, come on, those are two of your biggest adversaries on the Decepticon side, and you didn't even do those. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't click into my head that they're dancing around these different characters, but not actually doing them, unless it's got to be an IP thing with the names or something. But it's like they own the design, so
I just think there's a heavy expectation that G1 is what sells.
I mean, I'm going to be honest.
Just always been that way.
G1 does sell, but there's going to be a point where G1 won't sell. And I think there is a huge fatigue because there's a lot of people I've met that's like, oh, I have all that, you know, because I've met a lot of different collectors and they're like, oh, I got the whole American line. I don't need to even collect any more G1 stuff. Well, have you looked at the Missing Link stuff? No, I don't want that. I don't care about that. That's where some of these collectors are now. And it's like, who's next in line after G1? Well, you got your Beast Wars guys. Well, they keep kind of failing Beast Wars guys because they're not doing all the Beast Wars stuff. And it's kind of the same thing with the Unicron trilogy because those are the guys right now that have a lot of the money because they're working their butts off and they're younger. You know, that's where your money comes from. I don't know. I mean,
10 years. Always 10 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Every
like
10 years, you gotta upgrade every 10 years.
But they haven't been doing that lately. That's what I'm saying. Right? It's been bad. They've been dragging it for like 15 years. They're trying to drag it even further, and it's not going to work. It's just not. Most people's got their Omega Supreme. They don't need unless it's Armada.
I will say that the Prime and Ultra Magnus, Hasbro's GoFundMe crap.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the most successful ones. That they should be looking at that. I never thought it would get the numbers it did.
Oh, I had a feeling it would because I've met a lot of people that are into, RI, robots in disguise, car robots on that was their G1, and like we've always
Well, that's
said,
what I'm saying.
G1 is
Hasbro
G1
needs to look at that and put it into the mainstream and not just sprinkle one in every 3 assortments or whatever.
right, and that's the problem I'm seeing. Like, even when they did that Toxitron line for Generation 2, there was so much prime opportunity for them to do more G2 stuff that they didn't. They could have took that Earthrise Optimus Prime, gave him a black trailer, slapped some little box thing in the back as a sound box, and people would have snagged that thing up like that. There's a reason
Well,
why there are third
but
party and 3D printing people out there making these bits and pieces, because that's what people want.
now I'll say something that you probably won't agree with and you're not going to like. But looking at some of the mainstream stuff they did for G2 did not sell well.
Well, it wasn't.
So I'd like to see more, but I think that you're just not going to see it.
The distribution wasn't there. When I found out about a bunch of it, I was looking everywhere around here. I could not find it anywhere. It wasn't until over half
Well,
a
and
year
distribution
that I
is like as
finally
much a
started
order
seeing
thing.
it. But by that time, most people's already had it. And the problem with Walmart was, oh, they got it, and then it almost went to clearance immediately.
Right.
So it's not the fact that the numbers weren't there for sales. It's the fact that the distribution failed that line. And that's happened a lot. That's like, why do you think Hasbro's now came out and said, oh, we're going to reissue certain things like that Run Amok that just came out again? They're reissuing them because people missed them because somehow the distribution was garbage. So it caused them to lose money on account of no one getting hold of the item that they've been after.
So do you think they're going to reissue some of the G2 stuff?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Unfortunately, I don't think they will, because I think price-wise, it would cost them more money to produce those crazy colors than it would.
Well, that's an interesting thought. You said they reissued the Run Amok
because he's white.
I get that, but did they up the price?
Yeah.
There you go.
That they reissue something, increase the price, and But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm at a point right now with collecting that it's hard for me to be excited about stuff when you can't even find it at your local store anymore. Where you have to be like that one guy that, oh, if you don't pre-order it, you'll never get it. And then if you do pre-order it, you might not get it because distribution is garbage. And I'm just like,
I told you last week was the first time.
Yeah.
Last week was the first time I went to a store, saw something I wanted, and went, I ain't paying that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gotten to that point for me now. It's just I'm not paying that. It's not worth $30 something for that little toy. That should be worth 18 to 20.
That's very, very true.
I'll wait.
Yeah, it's like this. I got this on sale. I didn't pay full price. But then again, blockies aren't extremely expensive. But then again, I don't have a whole lot of money or a whole lot of space to be buying things. But when I do get them, there's a purpose behind everything I buy. I don't just buy it just because it's, a new shiny. Because I buy things that specifically fit within my collection now. So my question is, for the people out there that are watching this, if you're a collector and you filled up your shelves, you pretty much have everything you ever wanted, who's going to be going to the store and buying the rest of the stuff? Like, what generation's actually going to give a crap about Generation 1 Perceptor here in 10 years? No one's even going to really know who he is unless they've watched the animated movie from '86. Not a lot of kids are sitting down watching all the G1 cartoons. They're too busy watching, I don't even really know what's on TV now, other than they don't even really watch TV. They really watch just YouTube or TikTok shorts and stuff now. So
I don't even have a TV.
and that's the thing. Some people don't even have a television in their home. So, but then again, we grew up with that. I'm just talking about the younger generation now. Like, what do they watch? What do they do? It's video games, watching people stream something. That's pretty much it. Like, they don't get they're. I had a friend of mine I talked to about this, and he had told me, he was like, what my kid buys is like maybe 1 or 2 action figures that's part of like a video game he's into, and that's it. They don't care about any of the other stuff. So I'm just like, here in about 10 years, I don't think we're going to see anywhere near Transformers stuff as we've been seeing in the past 20 years, I'd say. Because I think it's starting to kind of peter out. Because they're not creating any new media to keep it alive. Not enough, anyway. So, I mean, that's just my own opinion. Kids might read comic books a little bit. Some of the little cartoony things they throw on YouTube are cute, but I mean, there's not enough attention there to keep kids really that engaged. And whenever the price point is so expensive, parents don't want to pay for it. There's no such thing as, when we grew up, here's $5 for pocket money to go buy a toy. Well, a kid can't even look at a toy for $5 now. You gotta hand them like $20, $25 to even look at anything, So.
Yeah.
But at any rate,
Yeah.
I think we've talked all this to death today. I know we didn't really have a huge topic, but we'll come up with something bigger next week. Maybe you guys will all have your RCs then, and then we can actually talk about that.
I'm hoping.
Me too, because I'd be interested to see what you guys all think of it, because I think it's a pretty cool looking toy myself. But anyway, I'm gonna have you guys say your sign offs, and we're gonna get out of your guys' hair for the night.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night.
Yep. Good night. See you all later.